Welcome back to another episode of Wrestle Capsule, where you're going to be getting your weekly dose of pro wrestling talk. And I'm your host, B. So welcome back to the show. I did watch Dynamite on Wednesday, and there are definitely some things that I want to talk to you guys about. I won't go through the whole episode, but there are some key things that we need to discuss on this show today. One being the main event. So it was the All-Atlantic Championship match between Pac and Orange Cassidy, and Orange Cassidy won the championship. Like, my mind is freaking blown. I'm actually happy about this. Like, Orange Cassidy has always been one of my favorite characters, and I love his gimmick on I just love it. I love the I don't care whatever type of gimmick, but when it gets down to business and when he actually starts wrestling, he comes out with these amazing DDTs, these orange punches, like all this. Like, he is like, I love how he's able to hide behind his gimmick, and then when it's time, he gets super pro wrestling technical, just like gets down and gritty in the ring. So to see him finally win a belt, I feel like it is long overdue, and it's so cool to see this come to an end. As far as I know, I don't know what's gonna happen after this, but Pac and Orange Cassidy have been at it for 2 years. This has been a 2-year feud. Talk about long-term booking. You can't get any longer than that. And like, there are times where Pac was trying to cheat, like he secretly tried to grab the bell hammer, and then freaking Danhausen came out of nowhere to stop him, and then the referee Bryce was just like, I see you, I got my eye on you, I know what you did. And it's crazy because the fact that Pac was so gung-ho about trying to win at any cost actually cost him the All-Atlantic Championship, because Orange Cassidy was able to capitalize on that and hit with an orange punch. And when he saw that hammer and Bryce saw the hammer, he picked it up. I was like, boy, you better not use that. Of course he wasn't going to use it. And then he ended up doing the punch again, and then he wins, and I'm just like, he's a champion, bruh. I've always wanted Orange Cassidy to get the TNT championship first, but that didn't happen. And then after that was like, I was seeing that was not going to happen anytime soon. Then I was like, okay, well, maybe he's going to get the trios belts with his best friends, Trent and Chucky. And I'm just like, well, that didn't happen because the Lucha Bros and Pac got it. So to see it kind of go full circle was super cool. I feel like both Pac and Orange Cassidy in the ring, they're just so good. They're so dynamic. They're great storytellers, and it's so funny how they can bring funny elements. Like, they'll be super serious in the ring, but then they'll bring in funny elements, and of course it'll always come from Orange Cassidy, you know, doing his little soft kicks. But then when Pac does it, I freaking crack up, because you do not expect that from him to do those like Orange Cassidy's small like little kicks, like whoa. Oh, if you can see my feet, I'm doing the kicks, but you can't see them because the camera's up here. But anyway, if I can pinpoint a time where I was like, wow, Orange Cassidy is definitely championship material, was at All Out. I believe it was 2020. And when Jericho challenged Orange Cassidy to a Mimosa Mayhem match, that match was so good, and it was so complex in the fact that Orange Cassidy won. When he won against freaking Chris Jericho, and of course back then during that time he was Le Champion. I miss the gimmick. Like, Jericho has been so many characters, it's insane. He just has so many gimmicks and characters, different changes in his pocket. He could just whip it out and just change into a different type of Jericho. But during that time he was Le Champion. I feel like that was one of my favorites at AEW. So yeah, ever since he won that Mimosa Mayhem match against Jericho, I've been really having my eye on Orange Cassidy and being like, yo, when are you gonna win a freaking championship, bruh? Like, let's go. So another thing I want to talk to you guys about was the tag team match, the women's tag team match. It was Toni Storm and Hikaru Shida versus Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. And maybe it's just me, but I cannot help but to still think about the feud that could have been between Jamie and Britt. Like, you had the best recipe for a possible like pay-per-view match between Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker after the whole, debacle with that AEW Interim Women's World Championship match at All Out. Like, I was expecting Jamie to stay mad because Britt was like, I said I'm sorry. You guys remember, I said I'm sorry. Like, she kept saying that. And it looked like Jamie Hayter was not going to forgive Britt. And I was thinking at some point, these two were going to have a match. And I was just like, yes, we have been waiting for us. There's been little glimpses of this ever since Jamie had gotten to the whole stable with Britt Baker and Rebel. Like, there's been times where Britt has kind of like got on Jamie's bad side, but then she would forgive her. But this was like at the top, to the point where Jamie was just like, how dare you? How dare you? Like, I have this opportunity. You've already had this belt before. I've never had this belt before. Like, come on. And to see Jamie squash it and be like, come on, it's my best friend. I'm just like, sorry, not sorry. I'm still mad about that. I feel like that was an opportunity missed. But anyway, lately with the women's matches, because we only get one women's match on Dynamite. Maybe we'll get lucky and have two, or maybe we'll have one match and one promo, or maybe two promos and one match, but most of the time it's one match on Dynamite. And I've noticed lately that we've been getting, trios matches, tag team matches. We're not getting, or if we do have like a singles match, other women from the locker room will be involved as well. So I'm seeing the pattern, and honestly, I don't know how I feel about it, because it's still giving me the same old, the way women wrestlers in AEW, how they're being treated, how they're being booked. And it's still, they're trying, I see that Toni's trying to represent the women more, but you're doing it in one segment and one match instead of breaking it up. And I understand you got a stacked roster, but hey, that's your fault for hiring all these indie wrestlers, all these ex-WWE wrestlers. Like, yes, I get it. That's why you got Dark and Dark Elevation, but I want to see the women booked better on the main shows, especially Dynamite. I can understand with Rampage, like it's 1 hour, unless there's like a special, like it was last week, when they had like the regular Rampage and then they had the Battle of the Belts thing. But even so, like, just talking about Dynamite alone, 2 hours, I'm like, come on, you can give us another women's match. Like, you're building other women. Like, we're seeing Serena Deeb, we're seeing Willow, we're seeing Jamie, we're seeing Penelope Ford. Like, we're seeing more and more of these women, especially after that lumberjack match. I believe it was with Toni Storm and Serena Deeb. Like, that was dope, seeing the women on ringside during the lumberjack match and seeing them have their own stories. In Sky Blue too. Like, the thing is, I just want to see women represented more, and not just, let's just throw all the women in one segment and just figure it out, and we'll just have a match in there. Like, I want more. Maybe I sound a little greedy, but I mean, not really, because I feel like it really is needed. And there's a lot of female wrestlers in AEW on the main roster that deserve the shine, and that I know personally I would look forward to seeing them in matches. So that's my 2 cents about the whole situation with the women's division and how women are being booked on AEW. Like, let me know, guys, in the comments below if you want me to do a more in-depth episode about the AEW Women's Division and the problems that I see, because I could go on and on. So the Ring of Honor World Championship match between champion Chris Jericho versus Bryan Danielson. So I'll be honest, it was pretty weird hearing people boo Bryan Danielson, especially after him for the past couple of weeks being built up as a face. To hear him be booed, and I get it. Chris Jericho, Canadian, they're in Toronto for Dynamite. Like, I get it. He's the champion, Ring of Honor World Champion. I get it. But I felt like that was a weird booking move, because it just confused me. And I'm just like, what's with all the buildup of Bryan Danielson being a face only to have like him be booed? It's just like, you knew, come on, Toni, you knew that Bryan Danielson was gonna get booed in Canada when he's fighting a champion who happens to be Canadian. Like, come on. But overall, the match was good. What was crazy was I was not expecting Daniel Garcia to turn on Bryan. But maybe I was. Like, I don't know. Like, I could see that he turned. Like, it probably was because of the tag team match that he had week before, where it was Daniel Garcia with Bryan Danielson versus Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho. So, and they lost. Daniel and Bryan lost. So, I mean, I could see maybe why he would turn on him, but at the same time, Chris has been so bad towards him, and he's been talking so much smack, even though it's been a like, I love you, but how dare you betray me? And then like it's just been a really weird dynamic. I'm looking forward to Daniel Garcia and Chris Jericho having their match. Now that it looks like Daniel is back in the JAS, I don't even know if we're gonna get that match, but I was looking forward to it, and they're kind of teasing it during the whole, Jericho appreciation pizza party thing. Like, what's going on? Like, what is gonna happen? I'm not sure how to feel about this whole situation, but definitely the whole Daniel Garcia turning did throw me for a loop initially, but after thinking about it, I was like, okay, maybe they're going at the angle of, I'm upset because we lost our tag team match, but Jericho has been pissing on you this entire time. But then he's like, he loves you, but no, you betrayed me. You're supposed to be a sports entertainer, not a pro wrestler. So I guess now Daniel's a sports entertainer again. I don't know what's going on. Can we talk about this MJF promo? I've said it before and I'll say it again. MJF is such a complex character, such a complex wrestler. That promo was amazing. It was just like peeling back the layers. He's definitely not a one-sided character. It's talking about how he's not happy with himself being a villain all the time. And you're seeing the humanity and the realism in MJF, and I absolutely love it. But he was like, even though he's not happy with himself being the way that he is, being this villain, being this heel, he said this is the only way that he can gain the championship, the AEW World Championship. So I could unpack this in such an in-depth way, but I'll say this. I'm looking forward to seeing this realism in MJF unravel more and more, and I wonder where it's going to go. Like, are we gonna see more of this other side of him? Like it was so freaking good. Like, he can become vulnerable for a quick second and then just go right back to being aggressive. It's so exciting to see wrestlers like that take their character so seriously. This is the same guy that flipped off a little kid. This is the same guy who's always like being such a douchebag, even on his days off. So I can't wait to see when this guy is going to cash in. I can't wait to see how he's going to be as a champion. So guys, let me know in the comments below what you thought about Dynamite. What was your favorite part? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more episodes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Signing off. Bye.